Baby with the braids. You offended too? God damn, man, fuck. Y'all good? Or y'all about to... Oh, I like Kyle Rittenhouse too.
Got him!
What is good, everybody? Y'all already know who it is, so we gotta talk about George Floyd, okay? Everybody knows who George Floyd is. This would be very crazy. You'd be living under the biggest rock ever if you didn't know who George Floyd was. Essentially the guy who got his neck kneeled on, black male, by a white police officer for a solid 8 minutes, okay? Now, I want to preface this video by saying that I am not a George Floyd apologist. I'm not somebody who is necessarily for him or against him. I feel like I'm pretty objective in the way I look at it. While I do think that George Floyd maybe wasn't the most amazing guy, I also don't think that the crimes that he was committing at the time of basically drug possession meant that it was okay to put your knee on his neck for 8 minutes. Though it is official police protocol that you can put your knee on somebody's neck to apprehend them. 8 minutes was too long, as you can see, because obviously the dude has passed on. So there's a comedian, he was telling jokes about this, and black folks were triggered. Okay, so I mean, am I gonna find it funny? Y'all already kind of know who I am. If y'all watch my channel long enough, I pretty much laugh at almost everything, right? The only thing I have a hard time laughing at is when it's like something related to like children or something. Then I feel just kind of sad, but it depends. Even then, it depends on even what happens with that. So I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and react to this, and we'll see if we think it's funny.
Oh man, all these good white people at my show.
What a start.
And you wanted to show them the reason George Floyd got his neck nailed on. Don't ooh at that joke. It's just a joke, man. I would have never kneeled on George Floyd's neck. I would have shot that nigga. That was making us look.
You know about George Floyd before you get your ass up there talking. You really should know to be funny, don't you know that?
It's called comedy, nigga. How many more black
boy.
fans I gotta hear that might leave? Oh, good man. I got. Cause nigga, I was just warming up with that George Floyd. You ready to go? All right, baby. Okay.
But
All right, you offended
But
too?
he didn't even say, he barely even said anything. Like, I'm thinking, you know, I don't know, he was going to say something like really mean or something. He didn't even, maybe, I don't know. I mean, this is like edited. Maybe I'm not seeing the whole thing, but at this point, he hasn't really said anything yet. He just kind of brought George Floyd up. I guess even invoking his name is too, I don't know. I don't know about all that. Like, okay.
Baby with the braids. You offended too? God damn, man, fuck. Y'all good? Or y'all about to... Oh, I like Kyle Rittenhouse too.
Oh!
I like Kyle Rittenhouse too. You too, bro? God damn, bro. Oh, but you with me a little bit, right? See, yeah.
Hey!
Damn, one more guy. Damn, man. That nigga don't even want to go, but his ride leaving. He don't even want to go. He like, man, I don't like George Floyd either, man. That nigga had fentanyl. God damn, you got to stoop low for a joke. George Floyd would have robbed you too, baby.
Okay, now here's the thing, and I've made this point with folks in general. Okay, now again, rephrasing this again, reiterating again, do I agree and think George Floyd like he deserved it or something crazy? Of course not. I absolutely think he didn't deserve to go out like that. I feel like if you was gonna apprehend the man Why don't you just put the handcuffs on him, put him in the back of a police cruiser or something? You didn't have to put your knee on his neck for 8 minutes. However, in the case of somebody telling jokes like George Floyd is gone, he never coming back, people gonna tell jokes. Like, it is what it is. People like to laugh through the pain and laugh through trauma, or just have a good time in general. I don't really personally think this is too far. He literally didn't even say anything. He wasn't talking about his mama. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't say like, man, you know, he wasn't like bringing up his kids, or, you know, I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's so many really negative things. Like, I don't know. Some people do like pedophilia jokes, right? Like, I see people like, okay, getting offended by that, right? And some people even think that that's funny. So it just depends on who you are, right? So, I mean, I feel like one of the things about the community, and I know that everybody watches these videos, so it's not really intended just for Black people. It's really intended for everybody. But one of my goals with the channel is to help Black people to, I guess, wake the F up in a lot of ways, and help anybody else who happens to see the videos along the way. But one of the things that I want people to recognize, because I'm a person who does care about Black people in the Black community, is that Black sensitivity is just so high. It's like off the charts. And one of the things that I feel like is that holds Black people back is that sensitivity, not having that thick skin. Like, just see how thin skinned some of these people are. You think that people who were literally enslaved would have gotten by if their skin was this thin? They wouldn't even survived at all. They would have just got enraged about everything and probably just ended up getting killed. But there's no calculated nature to it. There's no just, I mean, if you don't like it, you can leave. Okay, I'll give them that. But, you know, they were literally throwing tantrums on the way out. Like, if I went somewhere and somebody talked about something that I just really could not stand behind, then, you know, I'd be like, okay, you know, I'm just going to leave, and I'd probably just leave and not say anything. I wouldn't get up there and just start heckling and, you know, throwing insults and cussing, and, you know, you're ruining the show for everybody else too. Like, people make jokes literally about the Holocaust and jokes about Hitler and gas chambers and stuff like that. You know, some people aren't going to find that funny, but I mean, I ain't gonna lie, a lot of time I do. Like, it is what it is. So I definitely think people are going a little too crazy. Now, I ain't gonna go all Candace Owens on y'all. Like, she definitely went in on George Floyd, and I do think a lot of people turned away from her because of the way that she kind of was telling, she was like going into George Floyd's history and almost acting as though, well, hey, we shouldn't even feel sad that this person has passed on because they were basically a bad person. So why is everybody in such an uproar? And I think she kind of missed the mark. Candace Owens, I don't agree with everything Candace Owens says. Okay, like, maybe some people do. I personally don't. And I think that stuff like that, like, she basically, I feel like definitely sometimes feels like it's okay, or maybe even gets some sense of joy sometimes from disrespecting Black folks sometimes who support something strongly that she is strongly against.
The mob decides something because the lie about George Floyd and the way that he lived his life has become so big that we just have to now accept it as the truth. Nancy Pelosi yesterday said, quote, "Thank you, George Floyd, for sacrificing your life for justice." She also said, quote, that his name will always be synonymous with justice. You have got to be kidding me. Getting his life together? Is anybody still buying that anymore? Oh, no, never mind. It actually turns out that at the time of his arrest, he had fentanyl in his system. He also had methamphetamine in his system. We also learned that the week prior, he had had an overdose.
And I think that being so counter movement can be counterproductive because she's turning so many people away from her by having such a lack of empathy that I think that is just a turnoff for people. Okay, so that's one of the differences between somebody like me and Candace Owens is, one, she has a hell of a lot bigger following than I do. But two, I have a lot more empathy for what goes on in the community. And I think I have a better understanding of how to target people in the community to demonstrate that, hey, I'm on your side. Just follow the logic. Okay, I'm not going to start disparaging people that are, you know, obviously killed by the police unarmed. However, if somebody tells jokes and it happens to be about that same person, I might just laugh. It is what it is. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate y'all watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
George Floyd would have robbed you too, bitch.